a long way from here, in a land far away, I think in that direction, there is a jungle, the Amazon jungle. And in the Amazon jungle, there is a tribe called the Piraha tribe. They're a fascinating tribe, and one of the most fascinating things about them is that they only have 3 numbers. They have and it's difficult, I'm not going to say it in their language because 2 of the numbers sound similar. They have 1, they have 2, and they have lots. And I find, and I'm a university mathematician, and I quite like this at this time of year. It works in so many ways. You know, how many pastries did you eat at the Grace Church event today? 1, 2, lots. Very importantly for all the parents and for all the kids here, how many sleeps are there until Christmas?
4.
There are lots of sleeps till Christmas. That is the answer. Lots of sleeps till Christmas. We have a lot to learn from the Piraha. Now I know it's a daft question to ask that if people are excited about Christmas. That's a daft question. What I want to ask today is how long have you been getting excited about Christmas this year? We're going to do a show of hands and we're going to work back, and we're going to include everybody. Adults, I need you to get involved in this. So I'm going to start with, because we've got lots of sleeps till Christmas yet, I am not excited about Christmas yet. Anybody here? Thank you for your honesty. A couple of people, 4 people not excited about Christmas. Perhaps the rest of us can get them excited over the refreshments at the end. How many people have been excited for about the last week? Put your hand up if you've been excited for about the last week. Okay? How many people got excited when they came to the Grace Church event 2 weeks ago and they've been excited for 2 weeks? How many people, a few there, how many people have been excited since they got their Advent calendar out at the start of December? Yeah, well done. Good stuff. Yeah, start of December, 1st of December, Advent calendar out. It's Christmas. How many people have been excited for more than, since before the start of December? 1. I am not surprised, Rebecca. Yes. So let's keep your hands up, and I want you to put your hand down when I get to the month that you've been excited since November, October, September, August, July, June, May, April, March. Right, we get back to, basically there are people here who are getting excited about Christmas before the summer holidays. So, you may wonder why I'm asking that. I want us to think now about that question and the first Christmas. So let's think about some of the characters in the story. So first of all, let's think about the shepherds. How long before Jesus was born did they get excited? Now, if you listen to Liz with the first reading today, you know the answer. Because the answer is that Jesus had already been born when the angels appeared to the shepherds. So they didn't have the chance to get excited about that first Christmas. They just heard on the day, and they were told today in the town of David, as it said in Luke, a Saviour has been born. So they found out on Christmas Day. Now, what about Mary? One of my favourite moments from Cosmic Christmas was when there was a chat between the angel Gabriel, whoever he was, an angel Delight, and we went through characters and we said, and what about Mary? What do you know about Mary? And his hand shot up and so he went, she wears blue. Sure enough, every picture I could find, Mary wears blue. So, how long did she have to get excited about Christmas? How long did she know for? 9 months, yeah, at least 9 months. So, she had quite a while. When she was visited by the angel, she was told, you're going to have a baby, you're going to call him Jesus. So I'm sure she was excited about that. I'm not so sure that she was excited about going from Nazareth to Bethlehem, which I checked up yesterday. It's 105 miles. There's no motorway, no service stations, and in those days there was no internet, no phone, not even postage, so no wonder they ended up in a stable. So yeah, she had a while to get excited about it. And then we have the wise men. So we saw them being wonderfully acted a moment ago. How did they know that Christmas was coming? How did the wise men know? They saw the star in the sky. Excellent, yes. And they would have been studying the scriptures, because in Micah chapter 5, it says, "But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, you are by no means the least among rulers of Judah, for out of you will come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel." Now, let's put this in context. Micah, the book of Micah was written about 700 to 800 years before Jesus was born. A long, long time. Can you imagine if we were looking at stuff that was written in, try and do the maths, 1300 or something like that, to say, oh, it's coming true. So, they've been looking for quite a while. They've been thinking for quite a while. And according to expert astronomers, the star that they followed would have appeared somewhere between a few months and 2 years in the sky. So they could have known even longer than Mary. We don't know, but it certainly would have been months that they would have been excited about that first Christmas, that they would have thought the prophecy from 800 years ago, the stars in the sky, this is all happening. Right, now then, let's think about the angels. So we heard Martin read today from the book of John. How long before Jesus was born do we think the angels got excited? 15,000 years. I think that's a pretty good guess. We don't know. It could have been hundreds, thousands of years. It was a long, long time. They knew a long, long time in advance. They were really busy that first Christmas, weren't they? You know, the angels, they appeared to the shepherds, to Mary, to Moses, to Joseph in a dream, to Zechariah, the husband of Mary's cousin too. They would have known a long, long time. And I think of all the characters in this Christmas story, they would have been the most excited. They would have been really pleased. After all, they'd seen God. They knew his power, and they knew his knowledge of even the tiniest details. Right. Let's go off at a tangent. Who is on the left-hand side of this picture? Baldric. Correct, yes. So, Baldric, character in Blackadder, comedy that used to be on television. What do we think Baldric is saying in this scene? What do we think he might be saying? I have. Let's see. There we go. As if by magic. Do we know what Blackadder says back to him? At this point, he says, "Is it more cunning than a plan written by a fox who's just been appointed Professor of Cunning at Oxford University?" And Baldric says, "No." So, Baldric had cunning plans that weren't really that clever. Right, now I'm going to show you a picture of somewhere in Bromsgrove. I'll be really impressed if, apart from one person in this room, because they were born somewhere in this picture, if anybody can guess where that is. So, the road up to the Dolphin Centre. Yeah, Stratford Road. That is Stratford Road. Just down near the big roundabout by the golf club, down at the bottom of Stratford Road. That's Fordhouse Road going off at the side. And just at the top of the picture, you can see one of the houses that Julia's mum lived in for 65 years from when it was built, and she was born there. Now, the reason I tell you this, before you wonder, is you can see a pelican crossing here in the picture on the road. And that was put in a couple of years ago. Planners in their wisdom, they said, we want the kids at North School to have a really good, safe route to school and for other people to be able to cross the road, so they put a pelican crossing in. And it went in, and it worked. And then we had the joys of BREP, the Bromsgrove, whatever road project to improve the A38. I use improve. So, as a result of the BREP, they made the roundabout bigger at the bottom of the road. And because the roundabout's bigger, the pelican crossing is too close to it. So if you now go to the bottom of Stratford Road, you'll see they've got bags over that pelican crossing, and they've got another one 50 metres further up the road. Not the best plan. There's nothing like great planning, and that was certainly nothing like it. Some plans, when we look at them, seem quite daft. Now, God's plan may have looked a bit crazy to the angels. Maybe like one of Baldric's cunning plans. No superhero saviour, no earthly wealth or power, being born in a town of 300 to 1,000 people. I guess that's why the shepherds and the wise men could find Jesus quite easily. It must have sounded like a crazy plan to the angels. However, God's wisdom is greater than anyone's. And so Jesus was born in Bethlehem, in the town of David, in the stable. The poor and rich visitors came with their gifts. And he and his parents then escaped like refugees to Egypt, thanks to another bit of work by the angels. So God had a plan for the Saviour of the world. And that's what we celebrate at Christmas. The moment that many people had waited for so long. And the plan continued throughout Jesus' time on earth, ending with his death and resurrection for us. If you want to know more about that, come along at Easter. However, what we sometimes miss in the midst of this amazing story is that not only does God have a plan for Mary, Joseph, and Jesus, God has a plan for everyone. And that means everyone here. In Jeremiah 29, chapter 11, it says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you a future and a hope." That doesn't mean that everything in yours and my life will be perfect, but it does mean that wherever we go, whatever we do, God is with us. I don't know if your life feels like a sunny day right now, or whether you feel like you're going through a storm. What I would say is, whatever the case, have faith in God, in this Jesus who came to earth as a baby, just like you, just like me. For faith is not about asking God to stop the storm. It's about trusting him in the storm, just as those characters did in the Nativity story 2,000 years ago. So, in a moment, Laura's going to sing again. She's going to sing a reflective song for us to stop and think. If you look under your chairs, you may already have noticed, you'll find a little candle with, and hopefully the lights work. Ian asked me if I'd checked them all. I have not. We have more at the back if you have not. But what I would like to say is, during that song, when Laura started singing, if you have a prayer for someone, or if you want to ask God to be more part of your plan, for you to understand more of God's plan for you, or if you have a prayer for anything else this Christmas, just bring your light and put it over on the table display there in the far corner. Because Christmas isn't just about shepherds bringing lambs and wise men bringing gifts. It's about us bringing our prayers to God and bringing our lives to God. So I'll hand back to Laura to sing for us, and she will start the prayers.
Skies don't seem to be as dark as usual. The stars seem brighter than they've been before. Deep within I feel my soul is stirring, as though my hope has been restored. The shepherds say they've heard the voice of angels, confirming rumors spread across the land, that a child protected well from Herod's anger is our Father's Son, and the Son of Man. Love is raining down on the world tonight. There's a presence here I can tell. God is in us, God is for us, God is with us, Emmanuel. He's the Savior we have been praying for. In our humble hearts He will dwell. God is in us, God is for us, God is with us, Emmanuel. I feel compelled to tell who will listen that peace on earth is not so out of reach. If we can find grace and mercy and forgiveness, He has come to save. He is all of these. Love is raining down on the world tonight. There's a presence here I can tell. God is in us, God is for us, God is with us, Emmanuel. He's the Savior we have been praying for. In our humble hearts He will dwell. God is in us, God is for us, God is with us, Emmanuel. Love is raining down on the world tonight. There's a presence here I can tell. God is in us, God is for us, God is with us, Emmanuel. He's the Savior we have been praying for. In our humble hearts He will dwell. God is in us, God is for us, God is with us. You're the Savior we have been praying for. In our humble hearts You will dwell. You are in us.